TJ, taking it to the next level, all the way in Philly. You already know how we will it. Take this game up as we know we should. Today we talking about overcoming conflict in your lovepreneurship. Like, share, and subscribe because we know a lot of people out there are needing this black memo. We got the black memo today. You know what I'm talking about? We got our coach TJ. He's gonna talk to y'all about conflict. And before we get into talking about conflict, what is a lovepreneur? I heard y'all out there. Great question. More specifically, what is a lovepreneurship is the real question because it's all about the vehicle of wealth that you are utilizing to take yourself to the next level. And so a lovepreneurship is sponsored, or how you say, taken care of by a mompreneur, a dadpreneur, and a childpreneur. So those are all pluses, right? Plus, all of them working together. And that is the secret ingredients. All equals a lovepreneurship. And why is that important? Because you can have a mompreneur, a dadpreneur, and a childpreneur all in business, but none of them be in business together. And so we have a lot of situations like that where families can still be hustlers and they don't just take the time out to hustle together. So something's going on as a people, and those are conflicts that we have to address. And so, what is conflict? Conflict is necessary if you are seeking to rule the state that you believe you should be in charge of. And so, for us to be able, and if do you know where that's from, good brother?
I'm not familiar with where that's from, unless it's the joint you just recently sent me.
No, I always get my deets, my secrets. This is the Art of War, the
Oh
first
no
page.
no 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 no
The
no no
first
no.
page on Art of War. Check it out.
Yeah.
That's the season you're in, man. We're here making spiritual warriors, and so conflict is necessary. It's the first page that he writes because many people seek to avoid conflict or avoid suffering, but within your suffering is your glory. It's your opportunity to become new, become renewed, and reconfirm or reaffirm the things that you say you believe in, and to prove that you are where you are. And so, talk to the people first. Give them an introduction. Let the people know what you do. Let them know where they can
Give
come
thanks
and
and
service
praise,
you.
my guy. Yeah, yeah, this is an honor, and the shouts out to the Art of War. I need to tap in with that. But my name is
Yeah, so
Terrence
that one.
Harris. I've been here about a handful of times. I'm becoming very, very, very tapped in with the platform. Be Your Best University. I'm currently building a platform for creative entrepreneurs so that they can monetize their crafts and their gifts using digital tools and communities specifically. So that's the major play.
Excellent, man. Talk to them and talk to them. Which course, or which particular thing are you focused on right now that they should be thinking about or even considering? And talk to them real quick because this is all part of how they solve their conflict.
Right. No, absolutely. So I currently have three main offers, but I actually kind of just to even give you an update, I actually went down to one offer. So I used to have consultations that people can grab, which they still can. I'll just directly send them out to people. We have the Create course, which is I got this cat trying to attack. That's why I'm looking bizarre. But
No
so I
pressure, man.
have yeah.
We got the cats right
So
there, little black cat.
yeah, cat life. But so yeah, the second one is called the Creative Course, which is a course you can take at your own pace. But what we're focused on right now is the Creative Course and the Creative Essentials. And now the Creative Essentials, I'm only providing that here at Be Your Best. You see the criminal of the culprit.
Bring them into the
Um,
camera. Bring them into the camera. Show the
nah,
people cat.
look,
People
I'm at
love
my
the cat.
man's crib. I'm at my guy's crib. I don't know what this cat is capable of. So
Oh no, you're right.
I'm
You're
a,
right.
I'm a
That's fair.
respect.
That's fair.
I'm gonna respect his aura.
Real nigga talk. Real talk. That's how you know you're a real
Respect
nigga.
that. You know what I mean?
We don't pick up other people's animals. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
respect the gods.
Real
So,
nigga, real nigga.
yeah, the Creative Essentials is now only being offered for a limited time with Be Your Best University, so that we can focus on, like you said, giving the lovepreneurs something that they can utilize to either learn, improve, or share information about their gifts and crafts with other people. So, just to
Amen.
reiterate that, the main thing
Amen,
we're
bro.
providing is the Creative Course, which is a free book that I provide on my digital store. And then if you're also interested in getting what we call the Creative Essentials, brought to you by Be Your Best University, you can find that in any of our talks here on YouTube, or you can contact one of us and we'll lead you in the right direction.
Amen, Brody. Amen, bro. Bro just dropped that mic, man, but he might need it. You know what I'm talking about? Taking it to the next level, because that's exactly what y'all need to do, man, to overcome that conflict. So let's get up to our first question before we get into that framework. Really, let's give them the framework first, so they already got some game. I hear you out there, man. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because we about to give you the truth off the grip. This is how you got to frame yourself. So step one, we talking about that mindset reset and wealth rewiring. You got to rewire yourself towards abundance. It's the way you're thinking right now. It's that stinking thinking you got going on that ain't got you linking. You got to get better. And step two is what? Money and communication mastery. You got to get better with how you talk about money, because money shouldn't be a reason for your love to fade today. So we see too often people are fading what they love. They're not being serious about themselves. Step three is what? I heard you out there. Branding and digital presence. You got to get into it. So read right now. Me and my brother TJ, Coach TJ, we taking people to the next level every day. And so we do this through platforms such as YouTube. So get out there and make sure you brand and have a digital presence. Develop a magnetic brand that attracts income effortlessly. You can also learn faceless branding. So really there's no excuse, right? No excuse to get out there and really do something that's going to take yourself to the next level and transform you and your family's life. So step four is what? Making money daily. You got to make money daily, and don't got to be from multiple weird jobs, dog. You can make one paycheck from that one stream. I love what my brother's saying. It's all about that one ticket offering, that high premium course. It's best because the same work you do for 200 is the same work you can do for 2,000. You will learn soon, right? It's the same effort because we are people. We all care about people. We want to be able to give the same effort we do, even if it's low. So you better off just paying your value, paying your time first, right? You are worth more and you should charge more. But people will feel if you don't really believe that, right? So don't charge something that you don't really feel is your value or your price. So you got to be real to be a lovepreneur, right? You got to be in reality to take this to the next level. So one paycheck isn't enough. Daily income is the new standard. If you're not on this standard, you're playing with your life. Learn how to generate multiple streams of revenue from one idea. Monetize your knowledge through digital products and courses. Set up income streams that pay you while you sleep. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Yeah, you got to sleep. Step five, working together without tension. You got to work together without tension. This is where I want us to start and get my brother in on the conversation, because many couples want to work together but don't know how, right? They don't know how. So we'll show you. We'll identify each other's strengths and roles in the business and learn how to create a workflow that reduces stress and maximizes success. Set
Yes,
business
indeed.
boundaries so you can be partners in love and wealth. And without that, brother TJ, got that little tongue twister. Without that, we're talking now about tension. What's one of the things that you have seen as it relates to tension? Kind of explain what are some common tense moments as it relates to working in a lovepreneurship that you see, and what are some ways that you have seen for people to overcome that? If you don't mind just asking.
Y'all know me, so I ever since every time I come here, I got stories. You feel
Come on,
me? Like
talk to me.
that's how I teach and how I communicate the best. So when I came to Philadelphia, all of my adult life that I identify with as my adult life, um, since I've been about like 24, I would say from 18 to 24, I was still figuring it out. But by 24, what you got? That's the sea moss lemon, John. Yeah, that's what it looked like. Look, you got the sea moss lemon drop vibe. You know what I'm talking
My bad. I
about?
said CMOS season, baby. You already know, man.
Yeah. So like, once I actually made I owned my adulthood and my sense of direction in this world. I started focusing on what you mentioned, like trying to develop my romantic personal love relationships. So my first business I started with someone that I was with. And one of the initial tensions that started to exist in the entrepreneur journey, in the business journey, was not being on the same page with the person, right? So it's like you can have a business plan, you can have the roles, all the business stuff can be carved out and titled correctly. But if your relationship with your lover isn't defined, then that's going to pour into everything. So I would say definitions and like being able to state things for what they are, like clarity. That's part of why a lot of people be experiencing tension, is because they don't have no clarity, and then that leads to what you started off with, which is conflict. So now you have to fight for your state in the agreement. You know what I mean? Y'all not both wanting the same thing. So we didn't get that, it didn't get that bad, but I started noticing the contention when um I eventually wasn't in the relationship as much. Me personally, I decided I didn't want to be in that relationship, but we still had that business. So now there's that lingering effect of like people wanting two things out of two states of the matter. So clarity, what I mean, a lack thereof, and then that'll lead to conflict. And then the last thing that I'll say on on that note is like once I eventually got out of that business, it was because I recognized how much more valuable the love was than the business. That the love was what created the confidence for the business. The love was what created the ingenuity and the patience with myself. So that's why I wanted to preserve my friendship or some meaningful, what's that called? Like just a healthy relationship with that woman so that, I could always call on them in need or in favor or in community or in, stewardship. So like recently, like a year or two ago, I'll say like 2 years ago, I needed some assistance with reacquiring my birth certificate because like I just told you before we got on here, I'm from the UK. So my documents belong at the embassy pretty much, not in the actual Federal Bureau of like America. So I had to call her. I'm like, yo, how did you get that? And it's like I can call her still and get a very healthy, clean, concise, clear answer. Cause it's like I made sure I preserved that relationship over like trying to squeeze as much as I could out of her into my business because you know what I mean. Once again, I affirmed that she was a lot of the confidence and the ingenuity and meaning behind why I felt that that was worthy for me to do. So those are three things. Like you always want to make sure that you clear on what you want to do. You know what I mean? Any conflicts that arise, you know what I mean? You want to make sure that you fighting for the same state, not your own state. Like you want to at least fight for what y'all both need. And then lastly, I would say like understanding that leaving something amicably, on personal terms, I will always advocate for that over you trying to get the last nickel and dime out of a situation because oftentimes people will tell you like, it's not personal, it's just business. But it's like I would flip it. I'd be like, man, that's just business. This is personal, right? It's like I'm gonna always take my personal. I'm gonna take my self value over the business stuff all the time. But that's a different culture of belief. Like some people like, nah, I need my paper. I'd rather have me at the end of all of this. I'd rather have my
Amen.
people at the end of all of this, not the paper.
Amen, bro. Amen, bro. Now you gotta drop that mic again, man. I'm used to this, man.
Mhm.
I'm not new to it, man. So just keeping that flow of question going. 'Cause I love how you responded to that. About you just making sure you build that connection, or making sure that you keep your personal, or at least you value yourself more than what other people value. When it comes to valuing yourself and your prices, in conflict, how do you overcome that as it relates to there's natural conflict when you're selling your courses or your digital course? How do you overcome that difficulty in those particular seasons?
So I start where I start. Well, it's like it's like starting. It's a wave. It's like a trough, right? So I'll explain because it's interchangeable. So where I start off at is I need to know what I need to make, whether it be an annual revenue, whether it be a quarterly revenue, a monthly revenue. Like I need to know what I need to support myself and like to be able to grow in the way that I see for myself. Now, that's the big picture, but the more intricate detail to that picture is that if I haven't been paid $5 for this service yet, then how do I know what the value is that I'm providing, right? Like I haven't even made a dollar off this yet. So, for example, when I first started doing photography, shoot, I'll even elaborate more so that there's a clearer picture. When I initially started my commercial venue in 2019, I had a $25 membership that allowed you to contact me directly, get a free content um like session with me once a month, and you could come to all of our events, all for $25, right? So I was underselling it, but I wanted to know where the demand for that product was. So once I got 10 members paying me $25 reoccurringly, then I said, all right, let's create a premium membership, right? So then one or two of those people got the premium membership for 125. And then after a while, I started realizing like, okay, well, if I get five people paying 125, I already really doubled my money, so I don't really need these other five people paying 25. And if they want more value, they'll pay this new price. So I'm really about like proving the value of it. So my events was full, people's content was on a beam. Like people could leave reviews and actually say, like, nah, that experience I got was worth it. So once I started seeing people like benefit from that, then that's when I knew I could raise my price. And then the goal is always what I need at the end of the month, year, or quarter. So it's like, my rent there cost $1,000. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I got 10 people paying me $100 a month, then we at least covered the rent and et cetera, et cetera. So whatever, I want to make, that's what I want to make. You know what I mean? So that was how I used to
That's big.
always determine my value is like, you got to know what your destination of like what you want to get accomplished is. So do you want to like start building a house? You want to save $100,000? You want to get a commercial space, a car, a logo. I'm naming big stuff. Maybe you want to get a table. Maybe you want to get a camera. Maybe you want to get, some your first set of merchandise. Like, just having that goal. And then
Yeah.
then once you create an offer, just make the offer reflect how much you need to make it to that goal. You know what I mean? Now
Yes, sir.
that was the old me. I would honestly, if I started today though, I would charge one client for what I need for an entire month. That's what I do now. So now my price is $1,000 because $1,000 covers my significant bills. You know what I mean? And if my significant bills grow, then my price will probably grow. That'll correlate. So now I charge one client for my whole month so that I don't have to be running around looking for a whole bunch of clients.
That's wise, man. That's the approach. I apologize, Derek. Can you hear me now? Can you
Yeah,
hear
I,
me
I
now?
think I
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you
me
now.
now?
Yeah.
Excellent. So, no, and that's definitely what you start to soon see. Clients always need fries with that, and when they get them fries, because you might have started them off with the shake, you know what I mean, or you start to gain that rapport with them over time is what we start to see, and so that's definitely great feedback. I love how you even just sliced that up too. How you started off with, giving them a sample, seeing then from who was interested, you were able to then take that next level, and that's definitely how conversions work. You then not everyone's going to go, but someone will. You just have to make the offer and be clear with them, especially if you've already given them the value. Let them know how this can be an advancement of what they've already invested in and what they are already ready to do. So that was definitely a great game that you just gave to the people. Give the people some more.
It's always harder to raise the prices though. So that's why at the end I wanted to reiterate, like, we do it different now because it's always easier to give somebody a sale or a discount, but it's hard to raise the prices. When Netflix
Facts.
when Netflix tells you they raising the prices, you be mad. You be like,
$1 at that.
you give me $1, you be mad. So it's like, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Versus if they told you, yo, it's $50, and if you want to get less, it's $20, right? So if you want to watch the ads, give me $20. But if you don't want to watch the ads, give me $50. Like I'd rather choose to pay less than be forced to pay more. So that's why I start with larger prices now. And if you don't need the whole service, then we can break it down for you. But the main service is the best value. Why would I focus on the little value? You need to get the most you can out of this. Like,
Now you talking facts, man. We actually just been having meetings with Nowcast, which is kind of like Netflix light. You know what I'm talking about? They lighter than Tubi. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? But Tubi actually getting some more rep going too. You know what I mean? So definitely that's definitely the play in this season is to get more of our things streaming and definitely more on that particular platform. So definitely be on the lookout for that because that's gonna definitely be that subscription model that you just mentioned. I definitely can see how that definitely adds up because people just be like, oh, I got $1, I got $2, $3, right? You do $3.99 for an actual great show, and then but that adds up if you got 90 households that do that. You feel me? Or even just 900 or 9,000, and they do it on a 9 million level. So yeah, 199, 299, 399. And that's how we really got to count better for real. To your point, we always trying to hit home runs on every play. And I like one thing my trader bro my trading coach has been telling us, just sometimes you gotta get on base, man. You know what I'm talking about? You need to just get yourself going, get your momentum in the right direction. Not every play got to be a home run play. Not every
It's
play
that
got
it's
to.
all about that win-loss ratio. Your wins should tremendously outweigh your losses. They shouldn't be 1 to 1. They
No,
gotta
that's facts.
weigh
That's
your
facts.
losses tremendously.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts. And the weird thing about it, to your point though, you may not even win as much as you lose. To your point, more than
Right.
likely, most of the people lose. So like even to the swing, to the point of the analogy of hitting on base, most times, most people in the Hall of Fame is under 30% or under, and that's great in their books, right? And same thing, even just with if we're looking at with analogy with sports, or even just looking at ourselves as it relates to even just in business, right? You don't always have to hit on every single client, but it'll be the one that it takes you more profitable, right? Because they have more vision, more love, they have more support, or they encourage you more in that particular area that allows you to do more for them, and so it becomes a synergy. A lot of times is what to find, and so the key is always finding your tribes. So that leads us to our next question. Again, like and share, subscribe, man, because we're talking that truth. I believe we got 9 more minutes on this show. I'm talking about talk to the people about, in particular, just how you find that tribe, how you find that key client, that lead client. How do people customize that, and what are some of the conflicts as it relates to choosing that particular aspect, if you don't mind saying?
Yo, yourself. You are the archetype that I always choose from is me. So like if I know I haven't solved $10,000 problems in my life, I'm not qualified to solve very many $10,000 problems in other people's life. Now, would they value me solving their problem for $10,000? Absolutely. That's why we gonna make the offer, right? Off the rip. So yes, you can pay me 10,000 to solve your problem. I won't stop you. But the way, like you said, how I nurture and build up to that is that myself, like what problem in my life can I solve? And then once I'm qualified to solve that problem in my life, then I establish myself as an authority to be able to solve that problem for other people. And then it's like, then I'll if once I solve that product for 10 people, 15 people, then I'm like, all right, what was the most essential tool that helped me solve that problem for them? And then now I can turn that into a product, or I can lend that tool as a service. So like a whole bunch of branches of revenue models start to develop just from you starting on solving your own problems. You know what I mean? Once you solve some of your own problems, you'll have a bunch of offers, services, products that you can lend and start creating. But you got to start. I would suggest start with yourself. Get you an LLC. Now you can tell people about getting an LLC. Make your YouTube channel. Then you can start telling people about how to make YouTube channels. Get your first 1,000 streams. Then you know what I'm saying? Like once you got some stuff you did, you got all types of vibes that you can start providing.
Amen. Amen. I like that. I like that. And I like that the wisdom on that too, because ultimately you'll be the one dealing with that person. And so if it's not a vibe with you as the archetype, then that can definitely cause some conflict there if there's not alignment and vibration. So that's definitely a good place to start. And so one thing I always just kind of like try to always say, or try to always, or not even try, we always do, is starting with the end in mind, right? So we would start with the end in mind and just the way that we envision it. And so, because to your point, definitely we might be the best archetype in this current season. We also may want to start to project out to the best version of the self that we are seeking to be. And that's always in the future, because that's important to think that way, because it's important for us to give ourselves hope now so that we can do the work to get there. And so to your point, that's also another way to look at that with the same mentality of using yourself, thinking more in the construct of future. What would future self be doing right now? What are some of the ways future self would be tuned in? What are some of the work that I want to be doing, and what steps would I need to be taking in order to get there? And so because that helps then, because the goal then is, if you are thinking it takes 30 years, the goal is to always is to be able to minus that, take drop that zero on it. So if then try to get it done in 3 years. You feel me? If you said 3 years, then try to get it done in 3 months. You did. If not 3 months, then try to get it done in 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? 3 weeks. Cut it down. Keep cutting it down. 3 strongs. You did. Because we don't do nothing weak over here. You did. And so that's the main thing we always on, is always just focusing on our future self. And so talk to the conflicts that come with future self when you have to plan around your lovepreneurship with your partner about a future move, and how do you all overcome that particular aspect, if you don't mind us asking.
Okay. And so you say overcoming your lovepreneur journey, but what was the first part you mentioned?
When as it relates to planning with your lovepreneur
Gotcha. All right.
partner
I was just making, yeah, yeah, yeah,
about a future move that you're
yeah.
about to make, whether it be a future move with relates to the business, location, just the direction in your relationship, more specifically. And again, when we say lovepreneurship, it doesn't have to be I don't even say romantic, an affectionate partner. It can be someone that you're specifically just in business with. It can be the
Yeah.
lovepreneur, but more just in general, the lovepreneurship. What are some ways that you get through
I know
conflict?
anytime I have any like anytime that like you said I have that I encounter that, I gotta take like a real good look in the mirror now. I'm not saying that this is gonna work for everybody else, but I would advise that you give it a try if you don't, right? Like actually give yourself a look in the mirror and have a conversation with yourself about um, you know, where your true devotion, faith, and belief in yourself be at. I mean, so I could always do like a self check, self inventory. Get in front of my altar, do a prayer. Like I always have I do a lot of self reflecting. So when I'm in them events or them occasions, because it's usually an occasion, it's not very often, and I think people that's like a caveat. It's like the more time you focus on that, I guess dysfunction, the more that the dysfunction kind of like it starts to get bigger in your mind or in your focus. So number one is like understanding that it's like circumstantial, it's an occasion. The majority of your time is spent, cohabitating, communicating, cooperating. Like you gotta like, be objective first and foremost. But then like the self-reflection part outside of the objective observation part is like the self-reflection part is like, you know, um, self-doubt, self-hate, all that stuff kind of like creeps in and then it calls you to, be having dysfunctions with other people. When in reality it's like, the more you have love for yourself, people see that they want to get like you. They like, dang, like why they life so lit? I want to start getting in alignment with what they doing. But I'll end it even with this point that I've come to understand in my most recent year. I'm turning 32 in May, but in my on my 30th, as they would call Saturn return, is like I started realizing like I'm like when you were 10, adolescent, teenager, you were weird, you were different. All your friends was on the block, you was playing RPGs, right?
Mhm.
Then when you hit the streets and y'all was in the streets 18, 20 to 21, you was trying to become a Rasta. You trying to learn knowledge yourself. Then from the point when you start
Yeah,
actually
man.
becoming a creative, you start
Nah,
being a creative,
man.
you the only creative. I'm starting to appreciate that now that I done turned 30. Like, yeah, don't understand me. That means I'm on something. You know what I'm talking
No,
about? I'm on
no, bro.
something. Like, you know what I mean? So now
No,
that I'm
bro.
in this chapter, I'm thinking about media platforms going global. I'm thinking about investing. I'm thinking about stuff that just people that normally I talk to, that's not what they on. So I've learned to like incorporate that, like you said, whether it's a romantic relationship or like just like personal relationships that love is being fostered. It's like, man, your loved ones ain't gonna always understand what you up to, man. You know what I
No, bro.
mean? Like they ain't gonna always understand. But then, like I said, going back to the beginning, it's like as long as they got faith, like how you got faith in you, they got I mean, trust within themselves. Like you got trust for yourself. People gonna make decisions and choices for themselves, and they know it. Even if they don't know what's best for themselves, hopefully, like I said, you being an exuberant light in their life can help lend to them seeing things clearly. But I'm not one of those people who advocate for like things not working. So I'm gonna leave that right there because everybody always likes to like pour into things not working as much as they'd like to pour into things working, and I don't even really be feeling like that's necessary. So like that's how things work.
No, that's real. That's real. One thing I'm seeing in trading, that the real way to also keep yourself winning is knowing how to cut your losses quicker, and
Yep.
so that you can then get back on the right trend. So no, there's nothing wrong with that. With telling the people that, because that is wisdom. 'Cause sometimes we do go too hard about the wrong thing. I do say now, like a business idea is much different than a relationship with a person, right? Because
Yeah.
you can always come up with new ideas, right? It doesn't even have to be that particular way. Excuse me, that you make the money. You did. It doesn't got to be that particular way. But one thing I see is relationships. Time invested is you never get that back, and so
Nope.
it's important. Doesn't mean that you have to now have all time that you spent. It's just more to overstand that with that also comes have if you walk away, you have to recognize, have you solved what caused you to walk away?
Yeah.
Because many people walk away without solving the thing that caused the problem, and more than likely will end up repeating it somewhere else, as opposed to truly being able to be procious and have just sat within ourselves in that moment and just kind of not even had to make any major decisions. Because sometimes what we like to do is just wreck everything in our life, as opposed to just kind of taking this.
You know what I said in the beginning? It's like that, as I said it. It's like a lot of y'all products not selling because y'all personal life in shambles. So that is it's like it starts to leak over. It starts to bleed over. You know what I mean? It'd be a distraction. You can't come home. You can't wake up with peace. You can't get into your bathroom with peace. You can't eat at the dinner and the breakfast table at peace.
So that's all.
How do you think you gonna go into your joint? You know what I mean? You ain't gonna be clear no more. You cooked. You
Come
cooked.
on, bro. Come on, bro. And you talking that truth.
You
And that's definitely
cooked.
why we always realize and we always communicate to our clients for them to have multiple streams of income so that you don't have to make any weird decisions, right? You want to be able to have your money working for you rather than you working hard always for your money. And so trading
Yeah.
is one thing we always talk about on the Lovepreneurship Network. So go check out our videos where we talk to our bro Ivan about trading and taking that emotional intelligence as it relates to trading, because us getting better at putting up our money to make more money is the matrix. It's the cheat code, right? Because many men and many people still, no matter how much money they make, they love it too much that they literally won't invest in themselves enough. Like they'd rather buy $1 million Gucci belt than put it in $1 million stock, because just at least they can see the belt. Just the fact that they can see the belt, right? Not even the fact that they, can see that it says million and it would increase $1 million stock, right? We're
Well,
so
when you
physical.
just said that, I'm like, it would be a no brainer over here, but Lord knows.
You'd be yo, this life, because
Lord
people have
knows.
that option. That's why we can't even. You telling me these rappers don't know about no stock, bro? So yet, nah, they like, let me get that. Let me give me one of these little lion chains real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me get a little lion chain and
Yeah.
put as opposed to, and don't realize like, yo, that's the bread that you're supposed to use to take yourself to the next level, or at the minimum, buy your time back so you don't have to now worry about the next play. We should be making money from our reoccurring income, as opposed to always having to to
Go
to
work for
wait.
more income.
Yeah, or wait to see if it work out for us. Like, nah, that's too much risk there. We have to first make sure things work before we get there. I like one thing in trading, say read what you make sure you see it happening, then you react. Read and then react. If it does this, then I should be able to do this. If it does this, then I should be able to do that. But if it doesn't do what you expected, then you shouldn't be making moves. Is the key. So talk to the people, because I believe we're close to our end, my G. Talk to the people. You were amazing here, man. We appreciate you taking the time out, man. We're talking about that truth, talking about those conflicts. Conflict is necessary for us to rule the societies we believe we should. So talk to the people about things and leave them on that positivity, on what you believe they need to remember as it relates to overcoming conflict in their lovepreneurship.
Okay. Clarity, you know what I mean? That's gonna help improve that entire element. I mean, I don't even want to overspeak on that. It says for itself. Getting clarity will resolve conflict. Boom. um, and even before the clarity part, there was something that we mentioned in the beginning, which was foundation. A lot of times You know, if you don't know that you're blending two worlds together and you think that that's supposed to be easy or simple, that's where a lot of like it doesn't work. So being prepared to like build that foundation, knowing what going in, kind of like what you just said with the trading is like we've been using that as a consistent example. If you know you're trying to get 20% off that trade, don't 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 let the 20% pass you by. You know what I mean? So it's like setting preparing for that foundation the way that you intend for it to be, and then you can move into the clarity because like that's where you can start to execute more effectively. And then, like I told in my story about doing things more amicably, it's like your relationships and the culture inside of your entrepreneurship journey is going to be more powerful than the strategies and like the ideas. The people who are going to execute it with you, the people who going to share, comment, like, patron. That's the culture of your business. Like you could have all the best marketing strategies in the world, but if people don't like the person that they see on the ad, they're not gonna click it. You know what I mean? Imagine trying to run a lingerie ad with R. Kelly right now. Yeah, we all know who he is, but that's not gonna connect well with the audience who want to, what I'm talking about, grab that. So it's like you got to be more mindful. Like, oh, okay, this is the culture of what we represent here. This is how we reach the people, not with more marketing dollars. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Well, nah, that's good, bro. I was like, that's definitely what we on, man. With that organic marketing, man. We gotta just. That's why we take the time to do this. A lot of it is just putting out your real energy, your authentic energy, on a more consistent basis. Because many of us have been taught to not use our momentum towards our good. We use it against ourselves and our households, whether it's how we put ourselves together or our lovepreneurship. So we appreciate you, man, for coming together, man, and doing that focus and really just making it an opportunity and teaching the people about overcoming conflicts. And on that note, really, before we go, tell the people about what you got going on, what's your focus in this week, and how they can take that other strong, and how they can take that to the next level.
Yeah, this week we focused on the creative course, so you can go to the Stand store uh, and download our creative course. And then also, we will be continuing to highlight the benefits of the Creative Essentials package with Be Your Best University. Make sure you check out some of the replays to just see like what we've been building on. And then you can also tap in with that resource as well.
Amen, amen, amen. On that note, man, make sure y'all take things to the next level. This is Lovepreneurship Podcast. We're taking things to the next level. Make sure you be your very best as you take yourself to the next level. Don't be afraid to overcome the rest. And on that note, we out of here. Yiddy.